Back on Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta in the search browser. Hit that subscribe button when you get there. Leave us a comment there. We are free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, in Spotify and Odyssey. Leave us a 5-star review. Then give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. So depending on what site you look at, because I looked at about 4 different sites today to get a more accurate number, the Falcons right now have somewhere between $10 and $12 million of cap space available. That's available cap space. Now, you maybe hold back a few $1 million, maybe $2 to $3 million, right, as insurance, just in case somebody goes down. You got to sign somebody, you got to plug in a hole or whatever like that, right? So you keep a couple of $1 million in reserve, right? So that's going to give the Falcons, let's say, somewhere $9-10 million to be able to spend on a player. Okay, go out and get somebody. You know, and I understand what the Falcons right now, part of it is, hey, we're waiting. We're not in preseason yet. We're watching to see who gets cut. We're watching to see if we have an injury, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Part of it is, let's face it, the availability of anybody. Because to me, this cap space, this whatever this is, $10-12 million of cap space, you need a line of scrimmage player. Now, ideally, in my book, and we talked about this last week, would be a defensive lineman, an interior defensive lineman, okay? But I'm okay if you want to add another pass rusher. You know, I'm okay. You know, obviously, look, offensive line's another place that you could help. Because right now, if you look at some of the rotation, you know, the Jermaine Effettis and some of these guys, Mayfield's one of your backups. I mean, it ain't a real strong group. And I don't expect you to have a really, you know, strong group, you know, as backups on your offensive line, but Rick Leonard, Leroy Watson. Obviously, they drafted Justin Schaefer, Colby Gossett, you know, Jonathan Harrison. You know, certainly there's got to be somebody that's out there already that you can go plug. But I'm ready for the Falcons to bring somebody in. I don't want to wait. And I understand why you wait. I get that. I'm not that patient, though, right? I'm about let's get somebody in here and get them in. Because you never know. You might find a diamond in the rough. That's why I've talked about it in Ndamukong Suh or a Corey Peters or, you know, Sheldon Richardson. Somebody you feel like you could plug in right away and play. So there are some guys that maybe are not at the peak point of their career, but with all due respect to Taquan Graham and guys like that, you know, and some of the other defensive linemen, you know, the Marlon Davidson's, Nick Thurman, Anthony Rush, Derek Tangelo, okay? Not exactly going to inspire you to make a trip to Canton to see their bust in there or anything like that. So, look, I know we're only in the first preseason game. I get it. But I'm ready to spend some money, and let's go. Let's go get us another player. Let's take that money, and let's go get somebody. And I'm sure that they will. I will be amazed if the Falcons have this kind of – because what's the point of having cap space? Yeah, I know. You can roll some of that cap space over to next year. What the hell do we need that for? We got all the cap space in the world. Remember how you all sold me on how great it is to have cap space? Oh, we got all this cap. We're biting the bullet this year to have all the cap space. Okay, well, that's not a good thing in the NFL. Having $100 million of cap space is not a good thing in the NFL. All right, so we got plenty of that next year. I don't need any more cap space for next year. What I need is players. What I need is talent. What I need is guys on my roster to come in and make a difference for me and help me figure out how to win some ball games, right? Again, I don't care what the name is on the back of the jersey. I don't care what number that you pick, but I need them to go out and start finding me a guy or two to bring in here, and let's get things cranked up and going, you know? And for a roster that, again, we just talked about, you know, there's a reason why they're looked at as one of the least talented rosters in the NFL. Okay, I understand you're not going to fix that by going out and spending some money this year and things like that, but find me somebody now. We talked about the Braves and how good they are at evaluating talent, developing talent. Okay, the Falcons are the 180-degree opposite of all of that, right? All of the things that the Braves are so good at and finding and figuring out and plugging in and get a guy here and bring a guy here and bypass this guy and do this and do that, that's everything the Falcons aren't. Everything that the Falcons aren't is what the Braves are. So we got the cap space. We're in preseason now. You want to get a guy in here to get his legs underneath him, get his sea legs going, get him worked into the mix, get him worked into the rotation, figure out what his role is going to be, especially when you talk about your offensive and defensive linemen. Especially when you talk about defensive line, those guys are going to be a rotation. You want to figure out what your rotation is. And again, I'm not saying that there's a ton of great options out there, but certainly there's people out there on the marketplace that can come in and do something for you, or at least be part of a rotation. So I keep looking at that 10, $12 million. But it's flashing at me like a neon sign on there. We got money, we got money, we got money, we got money, right? I know we got all the cap problems and all the dead money and all this kind of stuff, but we have a little bit of space. You have enough money, you can bring in a player or two players, depending on who it is. 9, 10, $12 million can get you a Sue or somebody like that. And I understand it's a two-way street, right? Those guys want to play where they want to play because they're free agents for a reason, right? And they want to pick and choose and things like that. But you got a great defensive coordinator in Dean Pease. You got a young, what you hope is up-and-coming roster, with some draft picks and some guys going in their second year that you're counting on, and this, that, and the other. So I don't know how long the Falcons are going to wait. I'm convinced they are going to bring some guys in, but can we do it now? Can we go ahead now that we're, like Monday or Tuesday? We get a preseason game in, we're back to practice, right? Beat by the boop, we come back in, we're getting ready here for our next preseason game and all this kind of stuff. Okay, can we, they got, oh, by the way, practice is, if you don't know, you got an open practice at Mercedes-Benz on Monday, by the way. I'm actually going to be broadcasting my radio show from Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Monday. I'm going to be in one of the suites in the end zone and all that. So for $5, go to AtlantaFalcons.com, grab you a ticket, come out Monday, and it's a great chance to see Mercedes-Benz Stadium, watch the Falcons practice and all that kind of stuff. So that's coming up on Monday the 15th, by the way, just FYI on all of that. But I'm ready for like Monday, Tuesday. Let's go grab us a guy. That cap space feels like it's like when you have a little bit of extra money in your pocket, right? You found a $10 or $20 bill in your pair of jeans, right? There's an extra 10, $20. Let's go spend it, right? Let's go get something to eat. Let's go grab up this or that or whatever like that, whatever your proclivities are, Like I'm ready to spend a little bit of money and get me another body and another name in here because I am still concerned about what this offensive and defensive line looks like right now for this team. I don't feel like, do I think they're better? Do I think they have some answers? Yes. I think that there are some answers, and I think we will see some improvement. But I don't think we have all the answers. And I'm not telling you that going out and getting a Dominican Sue or something like that solves all of the problems and stuff like that. But it's just adding more layers and levels of pieces to trying to get this thing fixed. And who knows? You find somebody, you might find a diamond in the rough, and they kind of surprise you, and they overplay what you paid them or whatever like that. So I'm hoping by next week we see another move or two from the Falcons. First preseason game, get that in the books, evaluate this, that, and the other, watch the film and say, okay, let's go add another guy or two from there. That cap space feels like it's just burning a hole in my pocket right now. All right, thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. Make my friends over at ATL Day Ones your second listen. My friends Jarvis Davis and Tanitra Batiste talking about all things in the heart of the city of Atlanta. You want Braves, Hawks, Dogs coverage. Everything's available to you there. They'll have a little bit of fun, do some pop culture stuff. Always great conversation with those two. They are free and available on our YouTube page at Locked On Sports Atlanta as well. Leave them a comment when you watch the show. And, of course, we're free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify, Odyssey. Download us today, leave us a 5-star review, and then follow me on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. We will be back tomorrow to wrap up the week as it is game day tomorrow. This has been Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked On Sports Atlanta.